Hello everybody, today I have the pleasure to propose to you this key 67 Holy Style of Life, chapter 3. Okay, so this is the third part of this entire, let's say, topic, which is quite rich and as well very important, which is Holy Style of Life. So just to make it short, to summarize what we saw a little bit before, we saw, let's say, the concept, globally speaking. What is it concretely? The obstacle, okay, the breaks to implement, and also some kind of solution, practical solution to implement properly this this notion of holy style of life, if it vibrates within you, of course. So what is the concept? Simple, is in three axes. The first one, holy style of life, means literally the spirituality in your daily life, okay, in your practice, okay. It's referring to the concept of finding back the unity, to contemplate life, the temple within you, okay. So it's not fragmenting the notion of the religious, the spirituality within a building, but this is, let's say, prevalence. It is whatever the occasion, whatever the discipline, the situation, and so on. This is concretely the first one, and this is holistic approach. Holistic approach, global, entire. This is literally the concept, okay. Holistic approach means as well that you see the common thread with, between the different disciplines, okay, either science, either art, either medicine, either education, and so on and so forth. And even within the subsets, the subcategory of each of them. So that's really the vision which is different, an approach which is different, because currently in our modern society, and especially in Western countries, the philosophy is more binary. That to say, it's black or white, is good or bad. It's really purely duality. In that perspective, this is a kind of overall view, okay. This is the big picture. So concretely, this is to bounce back on the first elements. We will see 10 different elements regarding this concept for you to understand better. So the first pillar is this one. The fact this is the big picture, okay. This is understanding the entire puzzle game, the functioning of the overall vision, okay, plus the individual components, okay, the functioning, the way of working of each different components, okay, for understanding and for having more impact on reality. That's the first element. I still say holy style of life means holy with a Y. Why? The reason why is simple. It means literally a saint, sacred, okay. So this is an inspiration for seeing and perceiving life as occasion of spirituality. So this is the concept of contemplating, okay, contemple. This is open up the inner temple. This is also the concept of let's say drive and turn ordinary life into extraordinary life, okay, according to your perception, your eyes, and so on. The beauty is in the eyes of those who look at it, okay. It's true, but on the other way around as well, okay. So both sides. So first, this is a global picture for which we understand also each individuals as an ecosystem, okay. The ecosystem of nature and so on is a part of it, okay. That's the first essential pillar. This is global vision, like globus, okay, but also it's at the large scale and small scale, individual scale and larger scale, implying the notion of resonance. Resonance is the concept of let's say, which is linked to the second aspect. The resonance is the small impact as a larger effect, okay. This is butterfly effect, domino effect, snowball effect. This is the same concept, okay. This is, globally speaking, the fact that small effect can let's say can bring about large dimension, Okay, so that's the concept. Okay, then there is also the notion to reestablish a qualitative life. Okay, globally speaking, this is referring to the key 43 or 44, if my memory is correct. 43 is qualitative versus quantitative. What is it? It is an aspiration for which we consider not anymore profit exclusively, increase all the time, performance and so on, but we aspire to a qualitative life. What is it? It is respectful of the larger scale, that's to say the collective interest, and not only exclusively for minority. This is also the concept of respecting nature, respecting life in general. Okay, the principle of life, let's say the positive vibration. Okay, this is an aspiration. So it's the scope of it. It's at the individual scale and at the larger scale, at the collective scale. Okay, and both mutually help each other. That's to say, the more you apply this philosophy individually, the more you invite and directly people to do the same. Okay, that's why Marianne Williamson say differently, when you awaken, you invite and directly other people to open up their light, okay, or to awaken also. This is the same principle. That's why I'm always insisting on the fact that individual awakening affects the entire pattern. Okay, there is a reciprocal and mutual effect. Okay, the more you individually awaken, the more I do, the more he does, and so on so far. Okay, and in parallel of that, by doing individually, we credit the global egregor as collective unthinking and consciousness is the notion that we created it, okay, as consciousness, as a single man, and thereby by rhetoric effect we are also improved in our, thanks to the collective awakening, we evolve more individually. Okay, so it's both sides actually. This is extremely important, this notion of qualitative life. Qualitative life, what does it mean? Do you prefer to have thousands and thousands of fake contacts on your social network, or at least 3 or 4 on the, on which you can rely upon? That's the key question. Do you prefer to earn certain amounts of money for which you can live normally and have more time to spend time with your family, with your patient, and so on and so forth, and or to be a alcoholic for which you will earn the double, but you will lose half of your health, and probably you will even not see when you will be retired. Okay, I think it's quite clear for that, and this is really the awakening process as well. And this is the fact to question the routine, to question the existence and so on. The existential question is this. The existential crisis is essentially that, based on more qualitative instead of quantitative. It's not to impose yourself, it's not because it's trendy, it's because most of the time is a personal approach and personal, let's say, stimulation, like normal birth, okay, rebirth in a certain extent. So this is the first vision for this, for which this is in opposition with the normal current system, which is more based on the fact that we perceive other people as a feast, as a threat, as competition, and so on and so forth. Instead of the tradition worldwide, let's say, the world heritage, for which we perceive people as hands and not feast, as hands, as help, as collaboration, as enlargement of perspective and consciousness. That's different vision and philosophy. But the thing is always chicken and egg. The more you consider other people based on scarcity, rarity of the system and so on, and the more you want to preserve, the more you are afraid about other people and so on. Okay, so that's the point. And the new paradigm is more based on the second one, which is more collaboration, and in general, we understand that together we are stronger. That's the point. Second pillar of this holy style of life is the fact that all is in all. What does it mean? Or the wall is within all, or the wall is within the wall. What does it mean? It means that everything contains everything. I'll give you a basic example. If you know biology, this is exactly what you have in your genes. In your genes, okay, you have the entire pattern of your DNA, okay, each of them, and there are billions and billions, all right? They all have the same pattern, okay? We all have the same amount of chromosomes, but we are all unique because there is combination and all unique, but all of them, they are copy-paste within yourself. This is literally exactly the principle of everything is within everything. I'll give you another example, which is more literature, okay? This is traditional because this is part of Hinduism. This is what we call the Indra's net, or Indra's spelled, the net of Indra, Indra's net. Okay, so concretely, to make it short, the analogy is like when you have a spider, you know, the spider net, for which at the early morning you have a bit of water, and the spider, you know, the net, has a lot of drops, and each of them reflect the entire pattern. Okay, so every drop contains the entire pattern, and the whole pattern contains the all drops. So you are the universe, and you contain the universe, and the universe is you are part of the universe. You are containing the universe, both sides. You understand? So this is the vision that you can find everywhere. It's alchemy, it's Hermetism. This is all philosophy almost. This is the famous as above, so below, as below, so above. This is the principle of the fact that everything contains everything. To be a little bit more precise, this is what we call fractal holographic. Okay, fractal holographic. Fractal, if you want to see what is it, fractals, you can type of in internet the word and image, you will find immediately. This is the concept has been found in 70s by Mandelbrot, who is a Swiss scientist. So, and it's, this discovery allowed the binary system of our computers, okay? So, fractal means that this is, like Russian dolls. They are reproducing the same pattern endlessly, but smaller and smaller, smaller. Holographic, it means that it does the same, but bigger and bigger. So there is two dimensions at the same time. It means increasing and reducing. It's like breath in, breath out. It's like cosmic breath in a certain extent. Okay, so this is the functioning of everything is in everything in a certain extent. So it's the notion of unity, and that's why I love this neologism. Neologism is a own creation. Unity for which you can hear why, or you, or you both, or you all as a mankind. Unity, the unity within you. Okay, so this is really the co-creation, the existence between the small scale, the micro, and the macro vision. Okay, smallest, biggest, as above, so below, and so on. So that's the part of when I say the cosmic breath. Okay, this is what the Veda, the antique Hindu texts, holy scriptures, state as you embody, in a certain extent, a cell for which you feel separate as a prison, and or an alveolus of the cosmic breath, okay, of the cosmic lung. Okay, you are part of it, or you are outside. It's up to you to decide. A cancer is when a cell consider it's out of it. Okay, it's not part of the wall anymore. Okay, it's separate, fragment. Okay, so and this is a disease, not at ease anymore. It's not vibrating anymore harmoniously, and so on and so forth. So, and the Veda states, find the place which is already yours within this cosmic breath or cosmic pulse. Okay, this is this literally. That's why when you feel, when you trust the process of life, of destiny, and so on, doesn't mean that you wait and see and you don't do anything, you don't undertake anything. Of course not. But at least you're confident and you're not in the desire, the will, and the no. You're just wait and see because you respect the pace, the natural rhythm of life in general. That's the point. Third pillar, the concept of well-being. Okay, it's strange because few people see that there is a double face with this word, well-being. The first one is quite obvious. Okay, well-being means literally unity, harmony, wellness, completeness, happiness, well-rounded, and so on and so forth. Many synonyms. All right, we all do agree with that. But the second one, well-being, being well, okay, means well-being means also well-behave. Okay, it means that you can also have and to be happy by being a good person, because the more you feel helpful, you are grateful, you give help and collaborate with people and so on, the more naturally the biology of your brain emit more oxytocin, which is one of the 4 hormones of happiness. Okay, so you find a reason for being through other people, or other common collective project and so on. That's the point. Okay, so well-being, the first one, is extremely important, and I say many times, and I repeat myself voluntarily because it's so important. It's not a detail. To be in harmony, to be happy, is honoring the living, to honor life, and to literally to contemplate, this is an official practical prayer in a certain extent. Okay, so it is basically rising your vibration, rising your frequencies, rising your energies. Okay, when Tesla said if you want to find the secret of the universe, things in terms of vibration, frequencies, and energy, basically. Okay. So this is Tesla, but this is also Einstein. He said that there is no matter as we consider, it's just density, but everything is energy, purely energy. Okay, so as a matter of fact, if I can afford matter of fact, if the mindset also, your mindset, your discipline, your mindset, your philosophy and so on impact, this is what we saw. Well-being is the fact to feel well, okay, I feel good, okay, but in parallel of that, you maintain this state of mind, this mindset. Why? Because this is 2 things. This is what we call neuroplasticity in neuroscience. Okay, the fact that if you always pass through the same way, I'm gonna create something. Okay, a neuronal connection. Okay, but if you are always ruminating and so what the and so on, you're always complaining, you only have access to darkness in a certain extent, to disease, and this affects your brain structure, framework, and in addition of that, also this is somatic. Okay, this is what we call somatic, of course, but the notion of the notion of epigenetics. What is it? So placebo, somatic is the notion of placebo. Most of people know it. In Latin, placebo means literally I heal. Okay, reverse side is negative side. I have bad mindset, so nocebo. I destroy my own health. Okay, because of my mindset. But the thing is that the epigenetics is the discovery for 40 years now from PhD Bruce Lipton, stating that the mindset impact more than the somatic. It's impact deep inside your DNA. It's shape your DNA, and your DNA affects your entire pattern, as we saw before. Okay, so it's the chicken and egg. The more you vibrate positively, when you access to well-being, because you did things, if you take Sage Passage Utopia, the book for free that you can download from our website, you have 65 tools to be happy. You have 2 videos like this, 2 or 30 different tools to be happy, in between 20 and 40, okay? So it's not a detail, it's just for rising your vibration, okay? Ascension doesn't mean that you are Superman and you fly in the sky. It's nothing with that. It's a question of high vibration, light vibration, and not density, negativity, and so on. That's extremely important. So first, well-being. Second, well-being is to behave well with people. It means that yes, you have a kind of return on investment naturally if you behave positively towards people. Okay, so when you are in a project, collective project, charity, association, whatever, okay, when you feel fulfilled, basically, you feel fulfilled because you have been helpful for someone, a grandma, the neighbor, whoever. It's not a question of going necessarily to be a Mother Teresa in the poor countries. It's not this. It's just to be present for people in general and to have some. Yeah, you have a pleasure, and you find a pleasure naturally, not to force yourself and to take selfie and to put everywhere on the social media. Is nothing at all with that. It is just purely and with authenticity, okay, sincerity, that you do it. And I say again, naturally, your brain creates the rewards that we call oxytocin. Oxytocin, to tell you, is one of the 4 hormones of happiness: endorphins, dopamine, serotonin. The 4th one is the more powerful. So it's the belonging aspect. In addition of that, is the sexual climax. Okay, to make it short, orgasm. Okay, so this is linked to that. So it's a kind of shoot. It's a kind of natural good drug, but it's natural. Okay, so the more you help and so on, and you feel it, even if you're tired and so on, when you have, when you helped, a friend of yours or grandma and so on for moving out and so on, yeah, it's tiring, it's exhausting, right? Yeah. But when you go to bed, you feel good because you feel well-rounded, you feel fulfilled, because you know it was useful for this person. That's really important. 4 pillar. This is the equilibrium, okay, the balance of the tree of life. What is it concretely? The tree of life, for me, as my concern, this is the fact that when you see a tree, for example, here, okay, this is a tree on backwards. I spent all my education. I had so many games with it and so on. We did some hunts, some cabins and so on, a lot of things. But anyway, you can see it's quite prevalent, and you don't see the roots, right? The roots are feeding the tree of life. And the completeness of the tree of life is the visible and the invisible part. Is like the iceberg, the visible part and the invisible part. Everything in life is based on this simple principle. There is physics, there is metaphysics. Meta in Greek means beyond, okay, beyond. Okay, it means it's invisible for our eyes. And thus, thereby, in our materialistic society, for which, like Saint Thomas, I believe only what I see, what I touch and so on, tangible things and so on. All right, but just one thing, one remark, just for you, the ratio, it's only 4% of physicality, of density and so on, okay, 4%. And the rest is metaphysics. The rest is 96%. Within the 96%, so to have the big picture, the breakdown, it's 4% physics, so matter, physical matter. Dark matter, invisible, is 27%, and 67% is dark energy, right? Okay, so 94% is invisible. for the eyes, only with some specific electronic device. Okay, but even same from the spectrum of the rainbow, the visible part is not visible necessarily for you. Okay, you only see like this. Okay, the rainbow between 4 and 800 hertz. Beyond, okay, the infrared, the ultraviolet, you don't see them. Radar waves, FM waves, radio waves, Wi-Fi, all this kind of thing. It exists, right? They are data, bytes of information, but you cannot perceive them. It's a part of, supposed to be, the physical reality. Okay, so even among the physical, the physicality, we don't see everything. So concretely, when we observe only with our eyes, okay, we are limited. It's like observing life and analyzing life through a keyhole, okay, for which you observe, but you cannot see the big picture. You cannot see the perspective. You are just limited, okay? So that's important to take into account this notion. And just if we go a little bit further, okay, concretely, this is the notion of, let's say, the fifth pillar, which is what I call, for understanding its principle, that I call and I baptize the balance of the complete man. Okay, what is it? Complete man, human. It's the symbol of, you know, Vitruvian Da Vinci painting. Okay, is not belonging to him, but we don't care. For those who don't know, type Vitruvian and manpower, you will see immediately. So concretely is a man, okay, like this, in a square and in parallel, entangled with a cycle. What does it represent? Simple. The completeness in this concept. Square means, let's say, physics, physicality, rationality, conceptualism, rationalism, and so on, so forth. Analytic, perception. Okay. This is more masculine perception. It doesn't mean it belongs to men. It's just an energy, like yin-yang. Okay, so it's more yang, like Ida Pingala. Okay, same principle. And the second one is more the cycle is more feminine. It's curves. This is more, let's say, the notion of feeling, appreciation, heart, and so on. Okay, so it's more metaphysic. And by the way, this is two analogy and the reality of the functioning of your brain. The left part of your brain is linked to materiality, rationality, mathematics, physics. Okay, and the second part, the left one, is more linked to creativity, intuition, art in general, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is physical in your brain, and the more you develop both, the more you activate at the center the pineal gland that Descartes called, so it's not really Cartesian, he called it, the pineal gland, as the seat of the soul. Quote a mark. What do I mean thereby? It means that a complete man is also a person with this entire vision and abilities and skills and competencies. You know, unfortunately, nowadays we fragment. We have to choose. You prefer this or this. Your mother or your father. You prefer art or science. Why can I not choose both? Okay, why? So that's the principle. And in our history, even for Western countries, because we think most of the time is more from East, from China, from India, and so on, civilization and so on. But it's not completely true. If you analyze ancient Greece, okay, all the philosophers are mathematicians most of the time. And in addition of that, they are mystics. Okay, so philosophy, art, painting, sculpture, and so on is more the right hemisphere. okay, right brain. And mathematics and so on is more left one, okay. And the more they did that, the more they were in the mystical. You want some example? Pythagoras, Euclid, who else? Thales and so on. Thales, Plato, the Platonician, the Plato solids. All this kind of thing is really, really metaphoric. It's really powerful when you observe the school of mysteries built 6th century before Jesus Christ by Pythagoras is almost, sorry to say that, Harry Potter. Okay, so it's old, let's say, education received from Egypt. Okay, so what I try to show you thereby is that this is concretely, this is not artificial, is not new. The fact to activate both aspects. Okay, so concretely, we can go even further to conclude with that. It's also the symbol of the cross. The symbol of the cross is Epicureanism. Okay, Epicure is just a good horizontal alignment and vertical. Horizontal is enjoying life, party, entertainment, food, sex, and so on and so far. All right? And in parallel of that, you don't reject that, because even humor and so on is a part of the game. Huh? And verticality is the spirituality. Okay? But, and what is at the center? You. All right? So this is the fact to be more in this notion of to decode the messages of life. When Victor Hugo said it's a sad thing to consider, to realize that mankind, that nature, sorry, let's do it again. This is a sad thing to consider that nature talks and mankind remains deaf. Okay, so there is synchronicity all the time. As long as you are sensitive, as long as you activate your third eye and your sixth sense, and you activate more and more, and there is information for those who are able to see it. Okay, so this is really important. This is also the notion of reconnection to nature and so on, to the higher self and so on. Okay, so just to say again, the first pillar is the global vision, overall vision. Second one is everything is in everything. Third is the concept of well-being, okay, actively, passively, for yourself, for other people. The equilibrium, let's say the balance of tree of life, okay, visible, invisible part. And the last one, I mean for this video, is the balance of a complete human being. That's the point. All right, I hope that it will help you for you to shape your own master key. If you want to open up the doors of whatever you want, happiness, consciousness, love, and so on, is up to you to decide. As you know, all the roads lead to Rome and to the Dome. Thank you for your attention, and see you very soon.